You must think first, right? Before you move.
My hell weighs up, raising hell. When the hell is raised? What's your name, DMC? When I rock the mic.
This is a fucking war!
There are those who say it causes madness.
Horrendously awful things are happening.
I am Dracula.
Oh, what?
The boat can leave now. Tell the crew.
Pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
World Express elevator to hell. Going down.
Hello, welcome to RAPTOR, a show where I, your host, like to watch and review movies. Oh yeah. I've not posted anything in about a month because I thought I'd take a week off for Christmas, and 1 week turned into 1 month, which is a lesson for any of you that if you start something and building momentum, not to stop because you think, oh, it'll just be 1 day off. It won't be, it'll be a month. Nah, for real, I had some internet issues, and more than anything, I shattered the whole of my iPad screen, Stone Cold Steve Austin entrance style, which if you know anything about the Raptor Reviews production company, that's pretty much it. I shattered the production company, so I needed to wait and get that fixed. That and I became violently unwell. Not that you care about me, because you care about movies, but just so you know, I did become violently unwell. But it's not also doom and gloom, because Christmas was quite nice. Above all else, got a big fucking whop-off telly to watch movies on, so that's fucking nice. And I also got given a gift by one of my very, very good friends, a Christmas gift. He gave me a movie, and he knows me. He's a good friend, and he knows I like fucked up weird movies. And he gave me this movie and said probably the best thing ever. He says, I don't know anything about this movie, Jake, but I like the cover and it sounded cool. I was like, that's how I choose movies, dog. So what did he get me? He got me, and I'm super fucking intrigued. Dare I say excited, because anytime I get excited on this show, it's not always good. What he got me is this 1975 French horror movie. Tell me if you've heard of it. It's called Lips of Blood. Here's the aforementioned. I can see why that was in. Could sell that in the shops, but yeah, I mean, fuck. What you've got here is very obviously a vampire movie, with an emphasis on sexy vampirist, hot vampire chicks, which I've always said, I don't like vampires, except from Dracula. But as time's going on, I've realised it's not just Dracula. It's Dracula and hot vampire chicks. I think, other than Dracula, who, let's face it, is just the ultimate pimp daddy of vampires, and a really good story and good character in general. But other than him, the vampire, that's for the chicks, you know. That's might just be me, but I think the characteristics of what's a stereotypical vampire, being this kind of sexy, eternal youth, horny as fuck, kind of kinked little seductress thing. I don't know. I think that spooky character, although the character Dracula plays it very well with the pimp dynamic on feels, I think maybe this is coming from a guy, I think sexy chicks play it fucking well. Plus there's a whole bisexual dynamic that always gets played into it quite a lot, which I don't want to sound like a perv, but I like it. But I digress. What's this one all about? Well, first of all, it was released in 1975, which is like boom, prime time exploitation cinema anyway, but this is what's most flabbergasting me. It's not American, it's not Italian, it's fucking French! It's directed by a guy called, it reads like Jean Rollin, but I was Jean Rollin, who I don't know a heck of a lot about. I was trying to find a trailer for this movie. I basically found a bit of a compilation of some of the clips from this movie and a whole bunch of others. He seems pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know a lot about him, but yeah, fucking I'm just going to pop this thing in and see how we go with it. I'm not going to lie, it's weird because it's, like you say, your Italian horror movies, they tend to, you can watch them in the original, like, Italian, non-subbed, subbed instead of dubbed, but part of their charm and class is you do watch them with, like, the, hey, where are you going out over there? Like, you know what I mean? But it seems like this is one that you're meant to watch with the, like, subbed, basically. You're meant to watch it as it's spoken in French and with English subtitles, which is cool, but weird because I'm slightly intimidated by that. I don't know why, because its reading's the same. You know what I mean? I'm reading it in English regardless, but because it's French, for some reason, because it's French, I'm like, ooh, they're going to use complicated dialogue to read. But I'll just say I'm happy as fuck that my mate got me this. It says that it's number 1482 of 4000, which, I mean, I don't have a lot of cool little collector things, but, and, you know what I mean, is it just me who has it? But I fucking appreciate that like a motherfucker, you know, like, I mean, it comes like, this is obviously our director fella here, this is obviously one of our sexy vampire ladies, fucking, the French dude, same with the Italians, I don't think they do ugly, and then obviously we've got the more Italiano-esque cover here, but, I mean, like you say, big chunky dialogue, like book things, chock block with features and stuff. I might, before, because I'm going to go watch it and then talk about it, but I might, depending on how well it goes, I might see what some of the features like, just so I've got a little bit more to talk about, but, yeah, I probably spoke more on this little intro than I have in a while on an intro. I normally try to make these things more snappy-dappy, but yeah, fucking Lips of Blood, 1975, Jean Rollin. Let's fucking get in about it, you know. We might be about to tap ourselves into a whole different realm of cinema that I didn't know about, and I'm assuming if you're watching me, you either don't know about or you do know about, and that's exactly why you're watching me, and either way, I don't give a fuck, I love you for it. Let's watch this movie. So that was a pretty groovy movie. It was everything I expected it to be, but also not. I don't really know what to say. Well, actually I do, but I don't know where to start, so I'm going to start where most people like to start with. The start. So, Lips of Blood. This movie starts in France, as you might have imagined. It's modern day France. By modern day I mean 1975 France. But it basically starts off with this car pulling up to this graveyard crypt-esque place, and this old woman with like older woman with like kind of a veil and everything on, and these two dudes get out like this kind of van with a really interesting book. It's like, just from the time period, and like it opens up like on the bottom half, like, and then it's got the top half. Either way, I liked it. So all three of them, it's night, and they take out these wrapped up, what's clearly corpses, and take them down into this underground crypt and put them all into, you guessed it, coffins. But then you can see that they're still under, like in these, like, they're wrapped in white and everything, but you can see they're still moving, and breathing and everything, but they just coffin them up, and then just as they're walking out, like, the door of this particular part of the crypt or the tomb, to get this cross, and just like wedge it up with a couple of stones. I think we can see what's happening here. Vampires, still alive, but not allowed to leave because of the old Jeebus. Flash forward. It's now the modern day, and we're in what I can bestly be described as a funky art party. And there's it's what is it? It's for this it's not even art. It's like I should be editing this better. It's not art or such. It's for a fucking perfume logo, and there's like a photographer that's like taking a picture of like this rocky like hillside near the water sort of environment, and our main boy Frederick is here with his mama. She's quite an overbearing mama, but Frederick is quite taken by this picture. Now, the first thing I'll say about Frederick is he is old as fuck. Like, I'm talking like way older than he's supposed to be, because this guy, first thing, when he sees this like scenery in this picture, it totally gives him like a flashback to his childhood, where he's lost here at this like rocky like area. He's lost and he can't find his mum and he can't find his dad, and it's dark, but he kind of comes up to this castle where he finds this woman dressed in white, and she's like, oh, come in, you can sleep here. And he's like, oh, you're beautiful, but he's a kid in this, it's like a flashback sort of thing. He's like, oh, you're beautiful, and like she's like, right, you've got to, as dawn's coming, as it's dusk, she's like, you've got to go, you've got to get the fuck out of here, your mum's looking for you. And he goes like, can I get a kiss? I was like, little shagger. But she gives him a kiss too, and then like he goes away, he says like, I love you, and all this sort of stuff. This is one of those movies where you're best not to question the logic and just kind of go with it. But what I will question is that we find out that was 20 years ago, which means that this guy, our main guy, Frederick, is at a push. Like, this kid was no more than 7, which means at a push the character was supposed to be 27, maybe 29. He was not older than 10. I'm 32 in a couple of months. This motherfucker looked like he was in Van Halen now, like back then. Like, he's old as shit. He's got like the fucking, what the chicks call it, the fucking crow's feet and shit. Whatever. So he's obviously like, it flashes back to him and he is fixated with this because like it turns out that his dad died and he's got no memories from before his dad died, and his mum's tried to fill in the memories, but he says that it's never quite felt to him. But he knows that this is like a link to his childhood. So he asks the guy like who's in charge of the art company and the perfume advertisement, like, who took this picture? Oh, it's one of my photographers. He just straight up just goes like, can I get her address? He goes, yes, of course, I'll go get you. It's like, what? So he goes and meets her. First things first, this photographer chick, in her fucking apartment or her flat, she's like straight up like doing like a nude photography session with this chick, which is clearly for like some kind of porno. I just got to throw it here. Yeah, granted, she was like that kind of full frontal nudity where it's like, you know, the way the pussy's kind of hanged around, you can't quite see the pussy, but it's still just full fronted naked and stuff. I'm used to that sort of thing. What I was not used to or prepared for is just start fucking going to town on herself, and I was like, whoa! I don't think I've ever seen this in a movie before. Not just like, it was like the camera just panned in to her as she was standing, just like fucking going. It's like, whoa! Could have got a better house there. But like, eventually Frederick shows up, she fucks off, and it's just him and the photographer. He's like, yo, you got this picture? Or is it you that took this picture? She's like, this one? He's like, yes, that's it. Where is it? And she's like, I can't say. He's like, how? She's like, I was paid not to. The people told me not to say nothing. He's like, who? He's like, can't tell you. Shit, hold on, I gotta go change. Then she comes down butt naked, and she like says like, I'ma tell ya, meet me at the aquarium tonight. He's like, but the aquarium's closed at night. He's like, none of you have got press pass. And then she like has a wee smooch with him and shit. You're like, god damn, fucking what a good day. That good day turns into a bad night. So like, before he goes to meet her at the aquarium, he decides to go to a movie. When he's at the movie, just at the bottom of the screen, like an exit door, it's the chick, the one in white, the one from the start of the movie, this flashback sort of thing. She's there, but it's all vampire-y and stuff, so you know, it's very much the thing of like, she's not talking, she's just like, and he's all like, okay. And he goes and he follows her and he walks around all the joint, and he eventually catches up with her. He says nothing, she says nothing. So then he fucking follows her, and he follows her, and he follows her, and then he follows her some more, and eventually it's like, she disappears. But then he's been led to the original crypt, the one from the start. And, Ken, first thing he does when he goes in, knocks over the cross. No worries about that. Then he sees all these coffins, and he's like, I'll open the coffin. And he fucking cracks open the coffin, and the first thing he sees is a bat. It's a weird one because it's like he's shiting himself. And you know, bats are traditionally scary things in vampire movies. And this movie gets props because they used a real bat. The problem is real bats are fucking adorable and really, really cute. So all the close-up shots they're having of this bat, he's like going like, all the shots of this bat and this thing, he's just like, it's a cute little bat, it's adorable. But yeah, he fucking runs away, and lo and behold, this bat turns into one foxy ass vampire chick who, in a very flash panty sort of way, opens up all the other coffins. We're now met with 1, 2, 3, 4, count them, 4 hot vampire chicks. 2 of them are like, I think they're twins. They're twins. I don't know if the actors are twins, but like them two's like always together. And then there's another one that's blonde, them two's blonde. And there's another one that's blonde and a little bit taller. And then there's one that's brunette who's wearing like some shit, so she's like pretty much knackered under there. But so yeah, they're now on the scene. Like I say, this movie is very much like, just don't question it, just roll with it. Frederick, whilst he's running, eventually meets up with this chick, and I don't know who this chick is, but she's got like fucking some David Bowie-esque fucking makeup all around her. She's like, David, it's me. David? Frederick, it's me from your dreams. He's like, you don't look like her. It's like, it's me, come follow me. So he follows her, and he follows her, and he follows her, and he follows her, and then he follows her, and then he follows her. And he follows her. If it felt like I kicked the arse out of that a little bit there, they really kicked the arse out of it in this fucking movie. I feel it. I'm trying to just get through the story and then talk about the movie's like styles and stuff towards the end, but lo and behold, anyway, she gets him to this fucking room in this building, and it's weird because the original chick, the one in white from the start in this flashback, she's like watching all this happening sort of thing. It becomes apparent that she's like in spirit form, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, so he gets to this room and he turns around and he asks, because he left a toy with her in this flashback, and he asks her what the toy is, and she can't answer. He goes, ha! I knew it wasn't you, despite commenting earlier about how she doesn't look anything like her, but she then just goes, oh, and like fucking locks him in this room and goes running away. It's in between all of this that you see the 4 vampire chicks. There's like some dude just walking about at night, and the 4 vampire chicks done pounce on him, and it's the first of what this movie's got a lot of very lackluster gore kill scenes. That's one thing this movie drops the ball on, is the gore's not very good. Like, there's blood, but I'm spoiled by the Italians, haven't I? Yeah, nah, even the American stuff, like, it's even Hammer, even fucking 1950s Hammer, or even then, no, maybe I should say it's about Hammer from the 50s is just a little bit more, if depending on the movie. It's in the same ballpark, but you know what I mean? It's disappointing. It's very much that thing that all 4 of them jump on him, and then it's like the camera pans up and then pans back down, and you're just like, I don't know. You know, some people say like, it's better to leave it to the imagination, and I can vibe that sometimes, but this wasn't the case. This is one of those ones where I felt we needed some good gore. I'll also say, and this isn't a complaint, although it is a bit jarring, this goes by that old school vampire logic, and it's like this type of shit you had in your head as a kid, probably because of movies like this, but you know, like that thing that defies all logic, where when vampires attack someone and they bite the neck, it's like for some reason just the bite of the neck is enough to kill them, so it's but only like 2 seconds of a neck bite, and it's not like, oh, they bleed out and then they die, it's like just and then it's like that's the person dead, and they don't even suck the blood. There's a bit where it implies that there's blood sucking going on, but yeah, that's the kind of logic we're dealing with on this movie. But anyway, back to the main show. So this weird David Bowie chick's just locked Frederick in the room, and she's now like running away. The 4 vampire chicks done catch her and just fucking jump on this bitch. They fucking just, well, they don't. They just go. But then the two twins, they then open the door and let Frederick out. Frederick doesn't even question these 2 blonde chicks that have just come and opened the door. He just runs past them. Where's he go? Then he goes to the aquarium. And there's this fucking dude in a trench coat with a bomb-ass tash and a briefcase that's just like pure mad power walking away. And yeah, fuck knows. But so then he goes into one of the aquarium like scenery things, and lo and behold, the photographer chick is lying there, all like with her tits hanging out, no less. So she's dead. So he's obviously like, fuck that. Runs out of the giant. This is on the same night, runs out of the giant, and then he goes to like the subway system, and as he's waiting on his subway, he notices at the other side of the subway, it's the dude with the tasher in the trench coat. It's a whopping tash. I wish I could find a picture. It's actually very hard to find pictures for this movie. But yeah, it's the dude with the whopping tash. He notices him get on a subway, so then he's like, I'm gonna get on this subway. And then it's like the dude with the tash like sitting down on with his briefcase on him and shit. He's got sunglasses on as well, which I respect, especially at night. And like Frederick's just like hanging it. It's like he's looking at him, and it's like that one was like, he knows him, you know him, we know each other. So the dude like fucking takes his specs off and puts them in his briefcase, and then closes his briefcase, and he looks back at Frederick looks back at him, and he looks back at Frederick. Then he opens his fucking briefcase and pulls out a suppressed pistol and like fucking goes to shoot him, but David's got the fucking judo on him. David's like, yeah. I can let bad fight scenes slide and stuff, and bad, you know what I mean, like, the old James Bond karate chop. But this guy's like patting him, like going, huh. Either way, he knocks him out. He pulls the alarm on the subway, which is now above way, tram, whatever the thing is, the moving metal snake that's not quite a train but wants to be a train. That stops, he gets out. He then goes home to his mama, because bearing in mind he's still meant to be a young man, despite the fact that he's clearly on the side of 40 that's closer to 50, and he does that thing that I don't mind it necessarily in these movies, but he does that thing where he just starts fucking out of context, like saying all the fucked up shit that's going on, and his mum's like, yeah, what? Yeah, what, mate? And he's like, this thing happened, and then there was this girl, but then that, and he's like, fucking, she's like, go change, you're soaking. And like within the second he leaves the thing, like she gets on the phone and goes like, yeah, he's here, he's back, he's mad, come, I need you now. So he comes downstairs, he's like, I need to find this girl. And she's like, nah, mate, just fucking chill, you know, like, fucking, what you doing? You need to see a doctor. He's like, no, what, you saying I'm mad? She's like, So he's like, right, fuck you, I'm not coming back to this house until I find this woman. You know, like what a young man might say. Well, even then, like, 26, like, you need to be like fucking a teenager for that kind of shit to fly. Even in his 20s, he shouldn't be living with his mama. Or even then, if he's in his 20s and living with his mama, he shouldn't be having tantrums like that. But anyway, so he storms out the joint. And the second he gets out his fucking house, it's like his apartment building, there's these 2 fucking like loony bin doctors dressed in white that just fucking grab him and fucking chuck him into the back of the van, putting the fucking knockout gas on him. He wakes up in the fucking mental hospital straitjacket, and it's not even a good straitjacket, it's like a straitjacket but there's like fucking rope around it and stuff. She fucking, the chicken wife that he's been chasing and has the interest and the love thing for, she's back and just staring at me. He's like, fucking, look, like, say something to us, you know, talk to me, because like, if you didn't say, like, if you don't speak to me, like, I am just mad and you're just a figment of my imagination, which I like, you know. He's at least a bit self-aware that he might just be going crazy, you know. Like, I can appreciate that, but she doesn't, and then it's like that classic disappears just as someone's about to come in the room. Plot twist, it's the two vampire twin chicks, and they're dressed as nurses with little fucking COVID masks. And they're clearly on this side, because this chick from the start is most definitely a vampire chick, and they're most definitely all in cahoots. So like, they take him through to the head doctor, and he's all like, "Ha, Frederick, good to see you've calmed down. We're going to give you some electric shocks now." You know, because it's the 70s. And he's like, "What? Fuck you." It's like, "Nah, come on, it's nothing but good old-fashioned medicine." Like, come on, we're going to shock you. But then the two twin vampire chicks go like, pull out their fangs, and fucking, well, just give him a wee thing on it. But as he then leaves, it's very much implied that they then go to town soaking this by his blood. I'll point out that one thing that's cool about this movie is that these vampire chicks, all of them, proper fangs, you know. Like, sometimes it's not until like, and sometimes good effects, but these are like classic, like, Halloween as a kid, you know what, the fangs are out all the time. The problem is, sometimes I think the effect that they use kind of makes it look a little bit goofy, but the more I watched it, the more I figured, like, out of these two chicks who are supposed to be twins, one of them, and I don't know if it's because of how they're acting, or if it's because of the effect, but like, one of them looks like pretty, like, fits the part, and yeah, the other one, she just kind of looks a bit goofy at times. Like, it's like pure like, I'm not going to try to fight vampire, and then the other one's like, bear vampire. It's like fucking, it's like, look, I'm a hot vampire chick. My sister here, I don't want this spectrum, but you know, mum's sick, so I take her to work, you know, like, let's just, come on, let's just do it. Nah, but they're cool, and they're hot. I would take the goofy one, easily. I would let her take me. But, so yeah, then, like, Frederick's out and about, and then there's a blind guy that reminds me of the blind guy from Suspiria, which I think this predates Suspiria a little bit, but very similar, bar the dog. But he's like got like little trinkets, because I think like that's just what blind people used to do, is just try and sell things. It seems to be a thing. I don't know why that's in my head. Am I tripping? Blind people just go around selling things? But lo and behold, vampire chick from the start in white, she like pops up and she like puts something in his hand and then disappears, and then he goes up and it's sure enough it's a picture of the fucking picture from the fucking perfume thing from the start, with the rocks and the scenery by the water and everything. But this has got an address on it, it's got a location, it's got a name. So he gives the blind guy some monies in exchange for this picture, and he heads to the place. When he first gets there, he gets to the bit where he first met her and everything. It's dark, and then it's like all the four vampire chicks sort of appear, and he shits himself and runs away from them, even though they didn't necessarily look like they were being threatening, and the only times he's ever met any of them being the two chicks, they've helped him. But either way, he runs away, and he gets a little bit underground. That's where he finds another fucking coffin. There's like some books, and there's candles lit. There's like a little statue of the Virgin Mary, and he opens the coffin, or should I say, he goes to open the coffin, because that's been working out great for him. So he goes to open the coffin, and then it's like, he's basically, I can't remember what she says, but basically he's like, don't do it, and then it's like he turns and it's his mum. But it turns out his mum's like the old chick from the start. It's just, you couldn't really tell it because of the way the veil and everything was on and stuff. But it's a mum, it's his mum, and she's in the thing. And this is where we get the plot basically, or the story. And what it was is, when Frederick was a kid with his mum and dad, they used to live near here. And the main chick, the one in white, got fucking vampirism, she got fucking vampired anyway at the age of 16, and they were kind of aware of it, sort of thing. Like they I don't know, basically she was going around and she was infecting other people, and that's where the other 4 chicks come from. But she was also killing people and that. You might have seen this coming. It was her that killed Frederick's dad. So Frederick's mum and, well, the other 2 blokes round from the start, and from this point on, another random bloke. But yeah, basically, the plan is it's like, right, we're going to round... While she's talking to him, it's like they're rounding up the other chicks because it's kind of getting dusky. It's like dawn's approaching sort of thing. So, yeah, they're basically just rounding these chicks up because they know they need to go back to the burial ground for this, so they know where they're going, and they're just fucking putting stakes in them. But the stakes don't kill them. First, she's queen bitch, I think, like the chick in white, so she needs to die before all else. But above all else, they need the heads cut off before that, like that can go into proper effect. The stake only fucks them up. It slows them down, stops them, it knocks them out. Either way, so they're fucking putting stakes. The twins get double stake, like 1 stake through the 2 of them, and they're hugging each other. It's a pretty cool image, actually. Yeah. And I was actually upset to see them go. They were cool. They were cool chicks. The cool vampire chicks, the 2 twins. So yeah, Frederick's mum's like, basically it's like, look, we popped cutting her head off, and that's why she's still alive, so we just put them underground whilst they were alive and just blocked them in with a coffin. You knocked the cross off and opened the coffin up. That was you that done that. So what you're going to have to do, she hands him a blade and says, you're going to have to cut this bitch's head off and meet us outside and we'll burn them all to fuck. So yeah, fucking, you see them putting all the bodies up and everything, and then they turn and look, and there's Frederick, and he's hudding the fucking head of the chick from the start. And you know, I'm not one to dog on practical effects. I love practical effects, and especially ones that maybe don't necessarily hold up as much. But this was one bad looking fucking head, you know, like I don't do this, and snobby people do, and there's so much people on YouTube that the special effects were so laughable. I couldn't help it, I laughed. I was like, that's one bad fake head. And I think it's because there was so little effects in this movie that to just out of nowhere have a really bad head. So yeah, he fucking smooches the head and chucks it in the fire, and they're like, we'll leave and we'll forget about this. And he's like, I'll catch up with you. I want to be alone and think for a bit. And I thought it was maybe like the end of the movie, or it was building to the end of the movie. But what actually happened, I was into this. So remember where the coffin was with all the stuff around it? The Virgin Mary statue. It cuts to that, and that doesn't have a head. So the reason the head looked so shit was because it was the Virgin Mary's thing. He didn't lop her head off, he cut the Virgin Mary's head off, like the statue of the Virgin Mary, and chucked that in. The motherfucker goes back and opens up the coffin. This fucking poonhound cares more about getting some vampire puss than avenging the death of his own fucking father. And I commend it. I can't say I would do the same, but I commend it. Even then, if you want to go real talk, then that's the true power, that seductus vampire power, which I also commend. So no matter what way you slice it, either he's a horn dog, I commend it, or that's the power of the vampire, I commend it. But as it turns out, so he opens it up and she's all like fucking, oh, it's you. And it basically, she says that she's been watching him for the past 20 years, but it was only when he remembered her, in other words, when he seen that picture, the fucking perfume thing. How French, by the way, a perfume advertisement part here. But that, when he remembered her, that's when she was allowed to, able to appear in front of him. Obviously still couldn't speak, but yeah, she says, I thought, at first I was just out here, and you know, all the books that I'm saying and stuff, she's like, I fucking read the book, the first thing I was able to do was to project my mind out of the coffin before I was able to project myself out of the coffin. and it's pretty cool vampire stuff, you know, and like it's kind of darting back and forward to like them being on the beach to them being back at the thing and back at where the coffin is, and they go to another odd place. It's but like they're in love, you know, like he's like picking her up and like twirling her around and everything, and she's like, I've always dreamed of going to this beach. It's like a stone rock beach. She's like, I've always dreamed of going to, I've never been here myself and stuff, and yeah, they kind of do like, well, it's implied that they have sex on the beach. There's a bit where they're both standing naked on the beach very close to each other smooching, so you know. But yeah, nah, fucking, and then the moment comes where she fucking vampire fangs him, and so now he's a vampire. I feel bad. So just before what I'm about to say, just before the end of the movie, they're at this rock beach, and it's obviously at dawn. You know, just like when it's bright enough that a vampire could still be out, but it's, you know what I mean? It's a stone beach. It's like, think Saving Private Ryan, like think that Normandy beach, but instead of sand with rocks. Like, I'm from Scotland, I don't live too far from France, like I know that fucking Atlantic Ocean water, I know rock fucking beaches, like that shit was cold, and you could see it on the actors' faces, they were fucking cold. I don't know why I got to bring this up, but because they were knackered, there's a bit where you, every day you see like a flash of Frederick's cock. And like, I hate to be a hater, but like the first thing that went through my head, I was like, God damn, that's a tiny penis. Then I was like, man, it's so fucking cold, I don't think mine would look too good either. So they got a coffin, and they're basically, the plan is they're going to go to this island, but they jump in the coffin together, and as they're getting in, their whole shtick is that they're going to let the ocean current take them away, and to nourish themselves, because now they're both vampires, they're going to lure in sailors, which I like. It's very vampire-esque. I like the love and stuff. I didn't feel mad romance about it, like they probably tried to imply, but I liked it, you know, I liked it. And that's the end of the movie, is the coffin fucking floating away in the water. Was it a good movie? Yeah! Yeah, it was a good movie. Was it perfect? No. Like I say, there was a whole lot of just walking and walking and walking and walking and some more walking. You're really just, as far as Frederick the character goes, all of his decision making and his reasoning and rationale for doing things and everything he says, you just kind of need to fucking let all that slide for the experience. You know, like when people say it's like you just need to experience the movie other than like analyse it, it's kind of got a bit of that going for it. The two major problems, I've already said before, Negor. Like, or very fucking, like, you could have slapped a PG rating on this if it wasn't for all the titties and the fact the girl was actually fingering herself. But, yeah, it needed some gore. It needed some gore, but more importantly than that was the soundtrack. And the almost sheer lack of it. Like, I watch these movies, these old 70s movies. I watch these old Italian horrors, although it's a French one, and I know that there are long periods where nothing's really happening and there's no any music going on. I know you get that. But this had none. Like, I'm talking like, I don't know how long this movie lasted, but if this movie, let's just say this movie lasted an hour and a half, there was 6 minutes of music at a fucking extraordinary push. 4 minutes of music even, like, and it was subtle. The bits of music that were there were very subtle, good when they're, effective when they're, but man, this needed, and like you say, there's so much times where it was like, it worked, it didn't necessarily need the music, but like there was sometimes, especially then, really long ass fucking him following a vampire or some David Bowie looking chick, who once again, that was never explained. Neither was the guy with the mustache and the suppressed pistol trying to shoot him. I don't care about that, I just wanted to point it out, but like, nah, it needed music, it really needed music. Good points though. Fucking best point about it. The imagery, the cinematography, unbelievable. Like, it looked so good. Whether it was in the tombs, whether it was in a castle, whether it was out in that fucking bit by the water from like that he's been trying to get to. There was him and his mum's house, where there was just him walking through France at night, like the aquarium, like fucking brilliant. And that's not even touching upon, like, there's just certain bits that yeah, just really good choices of cinematography. Definitely the highlight of the movie, in combination with the beautiful vampire woman. Yeah, like I say, the plot was kind of a wee bit but by the time it started coming out, I was like, you know what, this is a pretty good fucking vampire movie. It doesn't, if it wasn't for all the fucking titties and the mad fingering and shit, and I'd say that this film even does it rises above what you would call being like exploitation, if it wasn't for the titties and stuff. But once again, vampires, you know. I give this a crisp thumbs up. I don't know when I will next watch this movie, but I can't say that I'll never not watch it again. I really liked it. There's an audio commentary track on it. There's selected audio commentary. There's a lot of bonus features that I'm going to plough through, because it was good enough that I want to see more about it. And you know, like how sometimes like you hear people talk, this is what the director was going for. I might get, this and that sort of thing. But nah, it was good. It was really good. A great Christmas present. So bro, fucking, if you made it this far in the video, fucking thank you very much, man. I need to raise my game next year. This year, because it's 2024, but yeah, that was Lips of Blood. This is my first video of 2024, my return for all two of you. Not that I don't think anyone's gotten to the stage where they watched the whole way. Plus I'm noticing that this uninterrupted, unedited bit of the review is at 34 minutes in combination with what I think. This is going to be about 40 fucking minutes. We'll get better at that. Anyway, this was Lips of Blood, this is Raptor Reviews. I'm back, baby. Straight up here, this is how much I wasn't even bullshitting. This movie didn't even have music in its fucking credits. Like, that's not me. This movie didn't even give us fucking end credits music. Like, peace out.